Okay, so today I'm down here in Lakeworth Beach, which is probably about 15, maybe 20 minutes north of where I live in Boca. And I'm not too familiar with this area, but it's always good to kind of get out of your day-to-day routine. And yeah, I've been wanting to explore it up here for a while. And part of this documentary project is getting better each episode and implementing one new technique or objective. And for today, first of all, I got to start off with getting some coffee. And the vibe today was just get up and do it. Let's see if I can make this episode better than the last. Continue learning. I'm really enjoying the process of doing this because, at the beginning of the day, there's barriers of entry. Like, oh man, the car, I couldn't find parking. Maybe I should go back. Whatever it is, there's always going to be some excuse you could find for not doing something, but you can always turn that excuse into a reason that I found. So I found parking, and now I'm just cruising, walking around. I'm going into the unknown, and I'm going to see what Lakeworth is like. And this might be an episode where I spread it out more than just one day here because I haven't done that yet. And this episode I'm just going into the unknown, and we'll see what that looks like.
Bitch, I got lean on me right now. I been sipping juice right around in the coupe. Niggas selling lean on me like wow. I be sipping gold, I can't sell no shit to you. I been pouring red, drop it in a big blue. My nigga, who is you? What you really tryna do? Say you really bought it, then my nigga make a move. All my niggas crazy, you could really make the news. I'ma drop 8 ounces in a 2-liter soda. Lil' baby, can you hold her? Cause a nigga tryna pull up. Been sipping for a week and now a nigga finna throw up. I got a pistol on me, I ain't worried what you throw up. Lil' bitch, I'm off that shit. I've been drinking cough syrup with no cough and shit. All these niggas talking juice, I need to stop that shit. You ain't nothing like me on me, I need my scripts. This ain't cheap, little bitch. Check the belt on these jeans and GPS on WAPO and 6 with my team. Got your bitch right here tryna fuck on the game. What you saying? Quit playing, don't want smoke with my.
Okay, so just got some coffee at this place down the street there, and now I was on my way to Lakeworth Beach, the actual beach. I just left the little town of Lakeworth, and there's a lot of shops and things like that there. And on my way to the actual beach, I saw a boatload ramp, and this might be a good spot for me to launch my Hobie catamaran out. It seems very wide up here. It's not too far away from where I live. It's only $15 a day to park. The water looks like it has a nice grade slope. You'll see at the entrance here to get the boat in. And as I'm out here exploring these places, I got to remember, like, you just start stumbling upon stuff that might be applied in other areas of your life. And if I wouldn't have came out here today, I wouldn't have seen this boatload area. So that's really good. And my drill paddle for my boat just got delivered, so everything's coming together. And this is why I do this stuff. So I'm just exploring this before I head over the bridge here to go to the actual beach. But yeah, you basically park your boat and trailer here, $15 a day, and then you take it down here, and that looks like a really wide water area to take boats off into. So that looks good. Okay, I've made it to the beach section of Lakeworth Beach, and beautiful setup, and parking not that bad. It is a Tuesday, so I'm just gonna cruise around, see who's out on the beach on a Tuesday, get some shots, and just continue with the process, hone my interviewing skills, and let that be that. Okay, what's your name?
Sure, my name is Steven Zupko.
And
We are at Lakeworth Beach here specifically.
okay. And I asked you about the waves right now. It's picking up, and tell me about that.
Yeah, so, a lot of people know in general, we get into hurricane season June through October or early November. And we have hurricanes that pass by the coast. Here in Palm Beach and further south, we don't usually get the benefit of surf from the hurricanes due to the Bahama Islands block any ocean swells that come from the east to southeast. So I'll see big waves up in Cocoa Beach, Jacksonville, up around there. We largely miss those here. We really get our best waves during the winter. But every so often, we'll get a special hurricane that will follow a certain specific track through the Caribbean, and also has to reach a certain size and a certain strength. It has to kind of meet all this criteria to get what we call very special down here when we get a slot or a channel swell. So if you were to look at a globe or a map, you'd see all these like little pieces of a puzzle of the Bahama Islands. And there's these small gaps that if you get a big enough and strong enough swell, it's kind of like a cheese grater, the swell will actually infiltrate through. We're taking this swell a little bit special. We've gotten bigger channel swells. The last notable one was probably 2003 Hurricane Isabel. That produced surf 6 to 8 foot, be a little bit bigger in this area. It only lasted for a day, and it lasted about 16 hours. This swell started to show up a little bit early yesterday, about the same size. It's continuing today, but if you're a South Florida surfer to get 2 days of waves in the middle of August, you're pretty happy. So that's what we got going on here today. It may last maybe a little bit longer, maybe tomorrow, but thanks to the hurricane, it's slowed down, so it's still pushing swell through the channel, and that's what we have. We'll probably get some more waves Friday, late Thursday to Friday will probably be the biggest wave we'll see off that storm, and then that'll be it. And then we just cross our fingers and wait for the next one, and we get to enjoy the waves and instead of boarding up and evacuating.
So it's a tough life. It could be a hard life being a surfer in Florida.
Yeah, it is. You better be willing to put some, if you're really passionate about it, burn some gas, put some miles on the tires. Generally, we have to travel hours north to get more rideable, consistent surf, and then we appreciate it. Pretty much October through April is when we could wake up in the morning and drive down to the beach and be graced with waves. But even then, it doesn't happen as often as it does up coast. But that's the kind of setup that we live for. Plus, who doesn't like to be in 76 warm water in the middle of January?
Right? That's what the water temperature is down here?
Yeah, due to the Lakeworth, Boynton Beach, this is one of the closest spots where the Gulf Stream comes into the coast. The Gulf Stream could be as close as 1.5 miles, 2 miles offshore, and it's a warm water current.
Nice.
So, you drive 2.5, 3 hours north, the water can be in upper 50s, low 60s, and we're in a toasty 76 degree water down here, or warmer year round.
Yeah, it's the subtropic sound. It doesn't, it would get hotter up in Pennsylvania sometimes in the summer, but it wouldn't fluctuate as much down here. And somebody just told me it's because we're in the subtropics and we don't get the crazy high highs or the crazy low lows. I don't know if that person was right or not, but yeah, it looks pretty big. I just noticed this yesterday, and I've always wanted to surf. I've never surfed. I've lived in surfing places. I lived in OB San Diego, and that was.
I lived in San Diego for 20 years.
Okay.
I was just there last week. So.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I didn't surf there, but I can't really like. That's why I get that they're probably not going to do it. They might sometimes, but that's why I don't. But why? I'll end it with this, and thank you so much. What's like why do you surf? Did you surf in San Diego?
Actually, learning to surf here in Florida, up in Central Florida, a town called New Smyrna Beach, which coincidentally is the shark capital of the world. Interesting place to learn how to surf, but that's where I learned how to surf. I hated the beach. My family was originally from New York, and we came down to Florida in the late 80s, and I hated the beach, hated the sand, didn't like the salty air. And my mom loved the beach, and she had determined to get me in the water down here, bought me a bodyboard, and then from there, the rest is history. It's a passion that's taken me all over the world. I've been to Hawaii, Indonesia, South America, you name it, and it's been pretty awesome to have that gift.
And you're saying the beach is a passion that's taken you over the world for surfing?
Yeah, surfing.
Surfing?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, I started this project just checking out a new beach every day. I was going to Delray every single day. So I'm like, an easy thing I could do to stay stimulated would be to go to a different beach. And I really don't know why it is I've been drawn to the beach, but I've lived in North Carolina, Wilmington, San Diego. I moved to New Orleans thinking there was a beach there. There's not. It's all swamp. And then I moved here. But from whenever I ask people, what they're doing out here and stuff, there's a relaxing vibe. They're like a common denominator. They're like getting away. They're reflecting. And I want my projects to be like soothing. You watch this at night, like Matthew McConaughey, like listening to rain. And that seems to be kind of the essence of the beach. Is there any other sides of it that you've seen over the world? I mean,
I think you summed up a lot of it. The other part of it is it teaches you patience. There's not, I don't care where I've been ever in the world, there's not ever a day that's exactly like the day before. Every wave is a little bit different, so you have to deal with that variable, and it's humbling. You're in the middle of Mother Nature's hands. There's nothing you can do, especially when you're surfing large surf, where you can get injured or even drowned. And if you surf long enough, you're going to have one or two or more of those incidents in big waves. It makes you just appreciate life and teach you how to be humble when you got nothing outside of your own control sometimes.
And we'll wrap it up with this, because whenever I hear people talk about surfing, I mean, in San Diego, people there in their car to surf, and there seems to be like a real spiritual component of it. Like, I can't help but notice that, and it seems like whenever you're in a wave, I mean, water is the essence of life, and it's a good it mimics, I guess, experience. I think that the spiritual side of the world is like water. Like, the spiritual realm would be the ocean, and then you can have a cup with some water in it, which would be like our bodies. And then for a while, the water's in the cup, and then whenever we're done with our bodies, it goes back into the ocean, back into the spirit realm. And with surfing, I just can't help but notice people mention that a lot of the time, and I'm going to explore that more, and I guess I'll leave it at that. But it's taking you all over the world.
Yep.
There's like not a lot of things that do take people all over the world like that. And thank you for the interview. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, you're welcome. Enjoy your experience and day here, and good luck exploring some of the beaches in and around Florida. They're San Diego and Florida both have beautiful beaches and just different variables, and take it for all it's worth. Everything's a little different.
Which beach would you suggest I check out?
Oh gosh, here, I like a lot of the beaches up in the Treasure Coast. I don't know if you've been, if you want to stay in Palm Beach, but Juno Beach is Jupiter.
Is that okay? Juno Beach, that's different from the Treasure Coast, right?
Yeah, that's kind of just south of the Treasure Coast. But Jupiter and Juno beaches are really pretty. You get down south of here, it just gets a little bit more kind of commercialized, with the condos and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But there's some really pretty beaches. There's not a lot of them, but there's a few of them in the Keys, Florida Keys too, that are pretty awesome.
Which would you recommend down there?
Bahia Honda.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with that. And so do you know what a Hobie Wave catamaran is?
Yep.
I just got that. That's going to be my thing. And I was you said the ocean's like unforgiving, so I didn't want to take it out until like, you know, I knew I could get back. And I just ordered this thing. It's called a paddle drill. It's like a drill bit, but it's a propeller. You put it on the back of a drill, so if you don't have any wind, you can still get back onto shore.
Yeah, go to the Keys. You love it. You could be on the Gulf side where it's all calm, or there's a barrier reef out there, so you know the seas and all that are much calmer and around there. And it's one of the Keys is really beautiful.
Great. We'll wrap it with that, and all right, bro. Thank you so much, Steve. Good meeting you, and I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. Okay, so we're here at Lakeworth Beach. It's a Tuesday.
Yep.
Who's out on beach at noon on a Tuesday? What?
Well, I work in healthcare, so I have odd hours, so that's why I'm able to come during the weekday, which I prefer to do because it's a lot quieter, especially now that school started.
What's your name?
Gabby.
Gabby. And do you live in the area?
I do. I live about 20 minutes away.
Okay. So we're at Lakeworth Beach. Why do you come out to the beach? What's it do for you? You know.
It's a happy place. I mean, it's a great way to decompress and ground. I love the feeling of the sand. I love the waves, the smell of the salty air. There's almost always a nice ocean breeze, so even though it's hot, you can jump into the ocean and cool off.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be like, you know, natural therapy.
Yep.
And that's what I want the vibe of my projects to be like soothing.
Yeah.
The opposite of a murder mystery. You can go to bed and you're like, you're going to have a good dream.
Yeah.
Kind of during COVID, I was looking for feel-good things to watch, and Matthew McConaughey was like 3 of his movies happened to be on the list.
Okay.
And I was like, there's something to his vibe.
Yeah, his voice, definitely.
And my friend just said to me this summer, she's like, you have Matthew McConaughey vibes. And I was like, I've reached the top.
Yeah,
So,
peak compliment.
you know, what are you from here?
Born and raised, West Palm Beach.
Have you seen a lot of changes in the past couple of years, or throughout your lifetime in general, living in Florida?
So I grew up in a smaller, more rural town, and that has definitely developed a lot, even since I moved away and a little bit closer to the city. When I was first there, it was pretty much all dirt roads, and now it's getting a lot more construction, which the locals have some mixed feelings about, but there's definitely more in terms of gyms, in terms of restaurants, that wasn't there before. So I know there's mixed feelings about that, but I feel like that was just like such a huge boom. And a lot of it started when I was in high school, and like even driving back now, like I can barely recognize it. So there's been a lot of big changes there. I mean, if you look at the numbers after COVID, a lot of people have been coming to Florida, which I understand why. It's very desirable, especially if you can stay close to the coast. Parking is pretty cheap, so it's really easy to come to the beach. It's an affordable way to like decompress and get outside and enjoy some sunshine. So there's definitely been a lot of changes the past couple of years.
Yeah. Whenever I would go home to Pennsylvania, I would be in nature just taking a run, and I would just feel good just by being in nature. And I was like, how important is this? Because I was living in like San Diego and New Orleans, which were really heavy urban. And I'm like, if I'm just feeling good just by being here, there's something definitely do that. And it seems like the beach is kind of that even more so.
Yeah.
What is one of your favorite beaches in Florida that I might not have heard of? Because it's the Mecca. There's so many down here. Exactly.
Blowing Rocks Preserve. I don't know if you've been there. It's in Jupiter.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. It's not really like a swimming beach because there are a lot of rocks, but if you can go and just like stick your feet in the water and sit on some of the rocks when it's not too, like the waves aren't too high, it's gorgeous. It's a great spot for photos. Not so much a swimming beach though.
Okay. And, you know, anything that you'd like to add about life in general, message to send out? And again, I'm going to send you Final Cut.
Yeah.
So.
Like life in general, like life
Yeah,
advice?
anything that,
Oh,
like,
gosh.
you know, anything that you'd, you know, that part of my entire project here is getting started,
Yeah.
and then doing a rough draft and not waiting for things to be perfect. And then throughout this, you'll see it progressing and getting better along the way. But it wouldn't have started if I just didn't have that outlook. So that's something that like is a theme throughout this project. Just that thing that you want to do it.
Yeah.
And, do it at the beginning of the day. it's usually not as bad as you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
But if you wait, put it off, it usually does kind of build up to something that kind of sucks to have to deal with.
Yeah. Well, for me, I've been trying to spend more time outdoors, so that's why
Okay.
I've been at the beach. My job is inside a hospital, so I don't ever see the sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear a lot of monitors, and that can be really overstimulating. So I'm trying to decompress, connect with nature, listen to the natural sounds of the ocean. So that's kind of been my goal, just to disconnect.
Okay, yeah, it's like disconnecting and reconnecting.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it at that.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
No, I think that's everything.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I'm at the beach. It's sunny. It's soothing. This place is essentially, therapy to a degree. You unwind, you decompress, you replenish yourself being in the sun, in the salt water, being in water in general. It's nature on top of it, and I just moved to the beach. I thought the beach was a cool place. That was that. And now as we're exploring, the different beaches, like what is it about the beach that draws people to it? And again, we're seeing common threads between people coming out here to decompress and whatnot. And I wonder how many people think that like an easy way for society to be very relaxed would be to just send them to the beach often. And that is the feedback that I'm getting from the people that are out here. I wonder what that would look like if you were sending people that weren't having issues mentally, spiritually, or physically out to the beach more. They're gonna most likely you're most likely going to soothe some things that are going on in your mind, body, and spirit. So, beach therapy, that might be there's something to beach it. There's something to beach therapy.
Okay, how about you start? My name's Patrick. What's your name?
My name is Stefan Patrick.
Stefan, okay.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay. So, what are you doing out here today?
Chilling. Yeah, I live right down the road. I come out here and meditate like 3 days a week.
Yeah, when did you start doing that?
About 5 years ago, I started practicing transcendental meditation.
Nice. What kind of effects has that had on your life?
Drastic effects, prior to, I was like, depressed, anxious a lot, worried a lot, broke all the time. Since I started doing that, I was able to control my energy and my emotions a lot better. I have my own house now. I got a $70,000 car. I got a lot of good things going for me, and it all changed once I became more in tune with myself and the earth.
That's yeah, I've been reading. Have you ever heard of the surrender experiment?
Yeah, by what's his name? I've read a few of his books.
Michael
Singer. Yeah, Surrender Experiment, and he has another really good one,
Untethered Soul.
Untethered Soul. That's my favorite.
Yeah, so I've been reading the surrender experiment the past week, and it starts out with him doing meditation.
Yeah, and then he ends up in like Mexico and all this other shit. Yeah.
It's interesting how meditation could take you to those types of places.
It's not meditation per se. It's surrendering. It's letting go and stop trying to control every moment of your life. I think of myself as I think of all of us as like a Tesla, like a self-driving vehicle. But in the road is already paved, and no matter what we do, we're always going to come back to that road. It's whether you believe in free will or not. If you believe in fate or destiny, then it's kind of, you know, you can't have both. You can't have free will and fate or destiny. You can if you look deeper into it, but the problem was that I was always trying to, you know, correct the wheel, do my own thing, like, oh, let me pull off this exit, and then it gets wild, and I'm trying to overcorrect, and when I finally let go, I realized that my path was paved, and all I had to do was let God take over. Just kind of wake up every day and allow the day to come to me rather than trying to attack the day.
Is there anything that you'd like to share with anybody, or anything else to add in general?
No, not exactly, man. Just the less you chase things, the more they start chasing you.
Yeah.
So stop being in such a rush to get everywhere and get everything, and just enjoy the moment and watch what the moment brings you.
You think that you're talking to me specifically, or this is just what I needed to hear?
I hope it's what you need to hear.
I have most of the lessons, and it's interesting because most things are reaffirmations. It's like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
So I'll end it there because it's a good, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to wrap this episode up right here. It started off with me exploring Lakeworth Beach a little bit, and then I found a place to launch the boat out of, And then I had a huge level up whenever I got my boat on the water for the first day. Although I wasn't technically sailing, I did get the boat onto the water, and I'm starting to uncover what the learning curve is really going to be like when it comes to sailing. Just getting the mast up is a huge thing for me right now, but the process has started, and I got my own boat onto the water, and now I'm going to continue building on that progress moving forward, and I can also take the boat into a bunch of cool locations whenever I am visiting these beaches in different places in Florida. Amazing level up for the videos and for lifestyle, my spirit in general. And I'd also like to add that one of the interviews I did earlier with the third guy, I'll put his name here, I cut it off because he pretty much had a really good, little bit on meditation that he told me he was doing. But something that continues to present itself on this project is people going out to the beach to relax. And now there is a lot of spiritual components that are being brought up. And things like that I want to look into more. And there's only so many times you can ask people what they're doing at the beach until you need to start exploring different things. But flow, intuition, God, love, being in nature, near-death experiences, deja vu, dreams. Children are always citing things about, being in the spirit realm before they were born. Those types of things I think would be fun and cool to explore, which is the basis of the conversation that me and the third guy had right afterwards. Plus, where the world is at spiritually, where humanity is at spiritually. And again, I need to add some more business stuff into this as well. But yeah, continue going into the unknown. I think that some lady may have taken my selfie stick the other day. So it's, I had to wait to get some new film gear to finish this up. But I'm going to wrap it with that. Feels good to end this. And then it's going to be really fun just getting creative with what I do on the upcoming episodes now that I have the boat, now that I have the format down. And, I'm going to be on episode 8 or 9, which is making progress. This is fun. And, so stay tuned, stay blessed, and I'll see you on the next episode with some more objectives coming my way in the world's way.